Hey everyone, welcome back to TechSphere CSE, where we make a computer science concept simple and practical. Today's topic is something every software engineer, data scientist, and DevOps engineer must understand. That is, cloud computing and Amazon Web Services, better known as AWS. By the end of this video, you will know what is cloud computing, how it works, how AWS dominates the cloud world, the key AWS services used in our real industries, and how as a CSE student can start building a cloud projects for your portfolio. Come on, let's dive in. What is cloud computing? Let's start with a simple question. What is cloud computing? The cloud computing means accessing a computer resources over the internet. These resources can be a server, storage, databases, or networks. Server is to run your applications, storage is to save the data, databases is to organize the information, networks is to connect the system very securely. In traditional IT setups, the company had to buy expensive hardware and set up a data centers and hire the maintenance teams and still face a downtime issues. With the cloud, all of this is handled by a provider like AWS, Microsoft Azure, or a Google Cloud. It's like a Netflix for computing. You don't buy a DVDs anymore, you just stream what you need. Similarly, the companies rent a computing power from AWS when they need it and release it when they don't. The biggest advantage is you only pay for what you use, no wastage. And the cloud computing offers three major benefits, that is, scalability, reliability, cost efficiency. Scalability means instantly we can add or remove the resources on the demand. Reliability means the redundant data centers keeps our apps running 24/7. Cost efficiency, that is, there is no upfront investment, just pay monthly for usage. So, whether it's a student project or a $1 billion enterprise, the cloud computing levels playing the field. Okay, now let's see how to get started with AWS. Step 1 is to sign up. That is, go to aws.amazon.com and sign up with your email and card details. Don't worry, the AWS Free Tier lets you to experiment for the 12 months without any charges. Step 2. Once you registered, you will get access to the AWS Management Console, a web dashboard that gives you a control over all the AWS services. Create users and permissions using the IAM, that is Identity Access Management. Never use your root account for the daily task. And step 4. Set up a budget alerts and enable the billing notifications to monitor your cost. This step ensures your account is secure and cost efficient from the day one and critical habit for every cloud engineer. And now, AWS runs on one of the largest infrastructure in the world, that is 33 regions across the continent and 120 plus availability zones and over 400 points of presence like edge locations and cache. But what does that mean? Each region is a separate geographic area like Mumbai, Singapore, or Virginia. Each availability zone is an independent data center with its own power and network, meaning if one fails, another keeps working. So this design will 100% ensures that high availability, that is your app never goes offline, and then low latency, that is the data is served from the region nearest to the user, and also a disaster recovery, that is the backups exist in multiple zones. That's why the companies like Netflix and NASA choose AWS. It's reliable, fast, and built to handle a global workloads. Now, AWS has over 200 services But you don't need to learn all of them at once. Let's focus on the 4 core pillars you will use them often. First is compute services. The compute services lets you to run the applications in the cloud. That is the Amazon EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. The virtual servers you can configure with CPU, memory and storage. Perfect for hosting apps or websites. AWS Lambda. It is a serverless computing. Just write your code and AWS runs it automatically when triggered. No servers to manage. And the second is your storage services. In that, Amazon S3. S3 stands for a simple storage service which stores the file, images or backups. It's secure, scalable and used by millions of companies. Amazon EBS. EBS stands for Elastic Block Store. It is for persistent storage volumes that attach to EC2 instances. Think of it like a hard drive in the cloud. And the third one is your databases services. Amazon RDS. It manages the databases like MySQL or PostgreSQL automatically. AWS handles backups, updates and scaling. DynamoDB, a NoSQL database built for a massive scale, used by the apps that handle millions of requests per second. And last but not the least, networking services. Amazon VPC. VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud. It creates your own secure and isolated network in AWS. And also Route 53, a domain name system that connects the user request to the AWS servers efficiently. And next, we move on to the real world use cases. Let's see how the AWS powers real world agents. That is, Netflix uses the AWS to stream content to over 200 million users. They use EC2 for computing, S3 for storage, and CloudFront for content delivery. Next is Airbnb. It runs millions of listings worldwide, scaling its infrastructure during a peak travel seasons using the EC2 and RDS. And next is NASA. Stores the petabytes of satellite imagery on AWS, using it to analyze the climate and the space data. These examples show how the AWS support innovation from the entertainment to the space research. And next we move on to the bestest practices for AWS account management. To use the AWS effectively, you're supposed to follow these best practices. First one is enable MFA. MFA stands for the multi-factor authentication, which adds an extra security layer beyond the passwords. And next is the use of tags and organization, which helps to track the resources and cost. And then monitor cost. It uses the cost explorer and the budget to avoid billing surprises. Automate deployment. Tools like a CloudFormation and a Terraform save time and prevent manual errors. So these habits make you responsible a cloud user. And next, a summary. To summarize, the cloud computing gives a flexibility, scalability, and cost savings. AWS provides the world's most trusted cloud platform. The Learning AWS helps you to understand the DevOps, AI integration, and scalable app design. So as a B.Tech student, start small, create a free tier AWS account, deploy your first website on EC2, and store the data in S3. Then move to the advanced topics like load balancing, auto scaling, serverless apps, and etc. And that's wrap up the today's session, that is Introduction to Cloud Computing and AWS. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to TechSphere CSE for more tutorials on cloud, DevOps, and AI tools. Comment below what AWS services you want to learn next, EC2, S3, or Lambda, and I will make a deep dive video just for you. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep innovating. Thank you.